Moviesucktastic is a podcast about bad movies and the people that love them. But it's more than just a podcast, it's also an online presence. If you want to know more about Moviesucktastic or want to become a part of Moviesucktastic, you can find us on Facebook, you can find us on Twitter at Moviesucktastic, you can find our blog at boothreviews.blogspot.com, or if you want to give your own reviews that we might use on the show, you can go to reviews.moviesucktastic.com and check out our own little lunch.com community for Moviesucktastic. Check us out and become a part of the show, because the only thing more fun than a bad movie is sharing it.
We are looking at the collapse of Western Europe.
Darkest Hour is absolutely magnificent and electrifying.
You have the weight of the world on your shoulders.
Now is the time to negotiate.
And now winner of the Golden Globe for Best Actor, Gary Oldman gives the performance of a lifetime.
You cannot reason with a tiger when your head is in its mouth!
This is as good as it gets. Darkest Hour.
You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
Dude, no! Oh!
Why, hello there.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm fine. Can we stop watching war films now, please?
Yeah, right? Oh, lordy, lordy, lord. I'm going to remember to do this right now.
Doing what? What are we doing?
Well, I have all of these files playing in the background, and I have to get rid of them, because if I don't, it won't loop properly. And here's the thing, I'm not supposed to be saying any of this. It's just supposed to be distracting everyone while I do it.
Oh, yes. Welcome, everyone, to Moviesucktastic. This is
Yeah.
yet another, I think this is our 4th episode where we're reviewing Oscar films that are nominated for Best Picture, in our countdown to the Oscars, or as I like to call it, the most overrated night of the year.
Yeah. This was something we both looked forward to at one point in our lives.
I don't know. I was explaining the work to somebody. Say, "Oh yeah, this is my Super Bowl. We do all this. We watch them. And we guess this. We get together and stuff." So, you love the Oscars, eh? He says, "No, I hate them."
Yeah. If you would explaining it to someone, it's just like that would be their natural reaction, that we love the Oscars. It's like, no, we actually don't like them.
And then after the Oscars are done, we put cigarettes out on our arms. It's just
For fun, just to feel something.
I don't understand it myself, but we're still doing this.
We are, and there's 9 movies this year. If there's a year to skip it, it's this one. I don't want to review 9 movies.
No, but to be fair, so far I don't think we've actually had a film that I like hated so far. And pardon me, but I think my eyes are on fire.
Oh.
I don't know. I must have touched something and touched my eyes.
On fire.
Oh my
eh?
God! But ignore me. Ignore the squinting.
So what have we reviewed so far? We reviewed The Shape of Water, which
Never
was...
pour salt in your eyes. Always pour salt in your
eyes.
My eyes are killing me, Dave. Oh. Yeah, we reviewed The Shape of Water. That was our first review.
3 Billboards.
And then
3 Billboards.
And last week we did 3 Billboards and Get Out.
Get Out.
Right, and every year we try to keep as many... What?
No, I was going to say, and we loved all 3 of those movies.
Oh, yeah. No, they were all, and I like Shape of Water more than I had planned on. Yeah. And what we tried to do recently is we review 2 movies a week, and we try to group them so there's a theme between each 2 films. And last week it was Get Out and 3 Billboards because they both had a racial component. And this week, what's the connection between these 2 films again? I'm a little vague on that.
The connection, well, you're joking, obviously. But the connection as they're both war films.
I'm sorry. The 2 films I'm talking about are Darkest Hour and Dunkirk.
It's just Darkest Hour. There's that other shitty January film called The Darkest Hour. That was the one where everyone was afraid of being in daylight.
Right.
That was it took place
Darkness Falls.
But it took place in Russia or something shit like that. Anyway, the interesting thing, this is probably the biggest connection between 2 films that we've ever had, for the mere fact that Darkest Hour is about Winston Churchill, this is the first film we're reviewing. So just to let everyone know, we're reviewing Darkest Hour this episode.
Right. If the trailer didn't tip you off.
Well, yeah. Well, some people just skip that shit.
I'm saying, yeah, good for them.
Anyway, this film is about how Winston Churchill became Prime Minister of Britain. So it chronicles that and it shows that, but it also shows him making these tough decisions, and one of them is Dunkirk.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the next episode we're reviewing the film Dunkirk.
These are 2 Oscar-nominated films, Best Picture Oscar-nominated films. You could literally edit these 2 films together and make one big film. It'd be a little disjointed.
I'm hoping someone does that. Think about that. You can make...
That's what I am thinking about it because I just said it.
Well, no, you can make a 3.5 hour film.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this could have just been a 3.5 hour film.
And especially, and you actually couldn't cut it this way. Maybe you could if you got a bit more inventive with the non-linear stuff, which we'll obviously talk about more with Dunkirk. But Dunkirk begins the way Churchill, or the way Darkest Hour ends.
Yeah.
And that I was like, oh shit! This is this like a big joke? Was there actually coordination? I mean, we're seeing like Marvel Universe and stuff where they're actually working franchises through. Is this like a sub franchise that was planned but we don't even know about? There's too many coincidences here.
Because when I think franchise, I think Winston Churchill.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Can I just say again that Gary Oldman is winning Best Actor for this movie? There's just there is no fucking doubt in my mind. I haven't seen everyone else yet, but there's no... Okay, well, let's see who's left. So we have Daniel Kaluuya. We watched Get Out last week. And
he's not getting it.
He's not going to get it. Denzel Washington.
Great performance. He's not going to get it.
Denzel Washington. He might not get it either because he's already won 2.
No. He's already won 2. Yeah. This ain't like Philadelphia Part 2 or anything. He's not getting it.
Wow. Then there's Gary Oldman for this. There's Timothy Chalamet from Call Me By Your Name. Daniel Day-Lewis for Phantom Thread. And is that all 5 or is there one more?
I don't have my list on me. I keep leaving it upstairs. I don't know why. I'm going to get it between the shows because I need to mark off stuff.
Okay.
So.
But anyway, I mean, I've seen 2 actors already, and I'm just... There's nothing that... Now that I've seen Gary Oldman's performance in this, I'm still unconvinced that... Or I'm still convinced that he will win Best Actor. As I go through the films, I I wouldn't be surprised if I don't change my mind. Now, it's
but-
like that one year that Adrian Brody won Best Actor for the Pianist. And that was like a long shot, and he won. But then I actually watched the film The Pianist. There was no doubt in my mind that he deserved that Oscar that year. You don't realize that until you watch his performance in there, because everyone was just calling it a long shot. But once you've seen all the films and you see his performance, then it's a no-brainer at that point.
Yeah.
I don't even remember who he was up against. I think that was in 2002 he won the Oscar
Adrian
for
Brody.
that.
Thanks for bringing up Adrian Brody.
Well, you know
thanks
what?
for that.
One of my favorite films, and I believe it is one of your favorite films, is The Jacket.
Yeah. I hate him, but man, he fucking acts his ass off in that film. It's awesome. No, I was working in the basement over the weekend, and like there's this bass coming. I just moved like the sound system upstairs, so I'm hearing this noise. I was like, I wonder what she's watching. I go up, and I'm thinking, she's not watching King Kong, is she? I go up, she's watching fucking King Kong.
Peter Jackson, King Kong.
Yeah, she has it on in the background. She's doing something else. I was like, why are you watching this? She's like, I don't know. This movie's horrible, isn't it? I was like, yeah. Oh, but here's the best part. I know I'm going on a slight tangent here, but it'll only take a minute.
Okay.
I moved my TV. I unplugged everything, so I lost my settings.
Oh, no.
So I've got that HD where everything looks like it's a soap opera now. It's like extra realistic.
You got to turn. It's called. So every TV company calls it something different. I mean, you have.
Yeah, but
I hate that.
But here's the deal. Watch King Kong with it. When you watch films like that with the CGI special effects,
right,
it fucking puts a spotlight on them. The whole sequence where they're running with the dinosaurs, underneath the feet and everything on the cliffs. Holly was like, rewind it. You got to see this. It's fucking amazing. It looks like someone drew them on the fucking film. It's horrible.
Oh, get out of here.
It makes it look so fucking worse. It's insane how bad it is. It was the best. That sequence is the funniest thing in that Crystal soap opera realistic video HD. It ruins it.
I mean,
more.
Yeah, I mean that scene is bad to begin with.
Yeah, but it pops. When they have like an animated computer animated person running or something, or they superimpose them, or when they're running in place, they're on a green screen, it pops. It's like you can't avoid noticing it. You can't suspension of disbelief. No, he's running on a green screen. I can fucking see it. I can almost see the green screen. It's like every shot is that shot from Lord of the Rings where they're on the stairs and they're falling.
All right. Adrian Brody.
But I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. Yeah.
Well, and I'm going to sidetrack the sidetrack. So, Adrian Brody was in 2003. That was the year he won Best Actor. He was up against Nicolas Cage in Adaptation. Then he was up against Jack Nicholson in About Schmidt. Michael Caine in The Quiet American. And this was the major upset because everyone, absolutely, myself included, thought Daniel Day-Lewis was going to win for Gangs of New York.
That's right. I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, playing Bill the Butcher. So that alone right there was just like, when they announced Adrian Brody's name, it was a huge shock. And then, you know what? Daniel Day-Lewis ended up winning for There Will Be Blood. And basically the character from There Will Be Blood is essentially Bill the Butcher. Just slight differences. I mean, they're not exactly the same, but they're kind of the same. So he ended up winning anyway.
Oscars love war films and Holocaust films.
Oh yeah, and Adrian Brody got it for both.
Right. So with this film, you've got for Best Actor, he's playing a cantankerous, old, lovable, stalwart. It's like grumpy old men in Parliament. And
Big Ben.
And it's a period piece, and it's a war film.
Right.
And it's technically a biopic. Fucking forget it. I mean, it's the chips are stacked against everybody else running against Gary Oldman.
Yeah,
and it's a great performance. Not to take anything away from Gary Oldman.
And on top of all of that, completely overdue. He's completely overdue for an Oscar.
Yeah. But But
I'm
again,
not saying everything
that's what
he's
lifetime
done.
achievements are for.
Yeah, I know, and I'm not saying that everything he's done, because believe me, he's done some January movies, is Oscar worthy. But for the most part, he's usually throwing in a good Oscar performance about every 3 or 4 years. He's not even, as a matter of fact, I'll look it up real quick.
He's one of those actors that even in bad films, he gives Oscar-worthy performances. Yeah. He's like that fucking good.
I think he's only been nominated once or twice.
Dude, he's the only good thing about Lost in Space.
Yeah.
He took the one character I thought they wouldn't get right, and he's the only one they get right in that film. It's like, not even like, oh, he like copied him or anything. No, he made that character his own, and he made that character fucking believable. That's how good Gary Oldman fucking is. He's the only good thing about Fifth fucking Element.
Get this shit, and I didn't even know this.
Yes.
I said, I think he's only been nominated twice. Meaning, I thought twice before, meaning this was maybe his third nomination.
I get you.
This is only his second nomination. His first nomination came in 2012, a mere 6 years ago, for Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. That's it.
I still haven't gotten around to watching that.
I tried watching it, fell asleep, never revisited it again.
I'm not into the espionage shit. I'm sorry. I don't find it,
And that was highly touted. Highly. Now, so that means he was never nominated for films like State of Grace. He was never nominated for films like JFK.
Professional.
Films you'd think he would have maybe gotten a nomination for, and nothing. Sure. Absolutely nothing. So, I'm actually hugely shocked that his first nomination was like 6 years ago. So, when I say he's long overdue, it's not like an Al Pacino scenario where Al Pacino was nominated 8 times and then he won on his 9th nomination. I think he was nominated twice that year, and I believe it was for when he won Scent of a Woman, but he was also nominated for Best Supporting Actor for Tony Roma in... Oh, why can't I think of it? The fucking Mammoth.
Which Mammoth?
It's the one with Jack Lemmon where they're...
Glengarry Glen Ross?
Yes, Always Be Closing. Thank you, ABC. It just fucking... Anyway, he was nominated twice that year.
Or as I like to call it, Reservoir Dogs without guns.
Yeah. So that year, they were actually thinking not only was he definitely winning for Scent of a Woman, which he did, but they said he has a very good chance to win 2 Oscars in 1 year when he was nominated, more than almost a dozen times previously. I think he was nominated 9 times, something like that, and he never won. And I liked him in Scent of a Woman. But if you're going to give the man an Oscar, it should have been for Scarface, near almost 20 years before he actually won.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's a good argument for that.
I think it's a very good argument. So anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know how much I'm going to have to say about Darkest Hour. It's a war film. I'm normally into movies like that. And although I didn't dislike this movie, I just had a really hard time getting through it. Because, not that it moved slow, I just didn't like the way it moved. I didn't like the way it felt. It just, I don't know. It just, I didn't find myself attached to it.
You know what? I watched it after I watched Dunkirk.
Okay.
And because of that, I was less impressed with the direction, with the pacing, with the editing, just because
we'll get into Dunkirk
to a different level.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm just telling you why I kind of agree with you on that.
Oh, okay.
I also feel like it's, what this film is a straight. We're going to show you what happened with Churchill. We're going to show you the progression of this whole thing of what happened. So we have the character arc when we first meet him and how he refines himself and how he everything about him and this whole period where he goes from nobody trusts me to I'm going to lead this country into battle victoriously. It's a predictable story arc. Again, historical too, so predictability kind of goes out the window. So you really have to go with characters.
Yeah, I mean, if you know even a little bit about Churchill, you know at least a little bit of this story.
And even if you don't, I mean, you kind of know where the
Sure.
movie's going. So it has to get you through the cinematography and through how it's the acting.
It's not
and
like
the acting's there.
Oh yeah, it's not like when one watched *Inglourious Bastards*, where it's like, none of that's in the history books.
Yeah.
So this is historically accurate for the most part.
Well, I guarantee if we look up now, you can find a whole list. And any film that is not a documentary is not going to be historically accurate, because you can't be historically accurate and tell a story in the storytelling mode of a film. You can't do it.
This is true.
You just can't.
One of the things that I noticed that they nailed, and it was only because I was putting together slides for the slideshow, is the likenesses of the actors to their real counterparts. Like Bob Mendelsohn playing King George. If you look at because I have a slide of a side-by-side shot, he looks a lot like fucking King George. I mean, and then obviously Gary Oldman looks like Churchill, but then there's a few other characters, like his wife. She looks very similar to the real woman that was Churchill's wife, and I can't remember the one. Halifax, the guy that plays Halifax.
Halifax, yeah.
That guy looks a lot like the real person as well. And the other actor, what the hell's his name? I'll get it super quick. But
well, and funny thing about that is, I remember when
he was the guy that got thrown out. He was prime minister, and they replaced him with
Chamberlain. Chamberlain, right?
Was it Ronald? Is it Ronald Pickup? Yes, Ronald Pickup. Now, here's a crazy thing. Ronald Pickup in this movie he looks like fucking Albert Fish, and you can't convince me otherwise. That dude is fucking Albert Fish in this movie.
I'm not even going there. Not even going there.
No, it's okay. Don't go there. But the side-by-side of him is fucking uncanny, except the side-by-side is Chamberlain as he's younger, but you could see, wow, age that Chamberlain in this picture by 30 years, and he's that dude. Like, it's that close. So they fucking nailed that. The likenesses are off the chart as far as what they were able to do with that. Now, this movie, in my opinion, is also going to win for best makeup. There's no way you're putting all that shit on Gary Oldman, where you could barely see, and for the most part, I don't think you can at all, anywhere the latex starts and ends with his real skin. It's pretty much perfect. Maybe on the Blu-ray or on the 4K DVD, it's not going to look like that, but the way we watched it, I can't fucking, it's amazing.
I'm watching it, and I'm thinking to myself, what was the last film I saw Gary Oldman in? Because, you get that kind of thing these days, where we've talked about it before, where you're used to watching these actors in the same film over and over and over again,
right.
And then you watch, then you see them 10 years later, it's like, holy shit, what happened? Like, they seem to age in an instant. It's like all of a sudden they're 70. And so I'm thinking, what was the last film I saw Gary Oldman in? Is he really this fat? Is this really him?
I actually have, one of the slides that I have is him in the fat suit. It's a behind-the-scenes shot of him in the fat suit. But I mean, he was in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. That was only 3 years ago, and it just
oddly enough, I missed that one.
He didn't pull a De Niro. Let's put it that way. Oh God, he was in RoboCop, which the remake. I still haven't seen the remake of RoboCop.
You have? Yeah, I
haven't.
Don't rush. Don't rush. Take your time.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
but. Oh man, not cool.
We're gonna have to start getting down and dirty with our challenges after the Oscars and start making each other watch some shit that we should be watching.
I already know a challenge that I'm looking for an opportunity to challenge it to you, because
we may have to do away with our rules and just have a month of hurt you rounds. Like, dude, you're gonna watch fucking Twilight if it kills me.
We could do a month. We could do a month of hurt you stuff.
Yeah.
We could change it up a bit.
Yeah, we got to change it up a bit because we got to catch up on some stuff.
Yeah, we could do Hirsch's stuff, and
Yeah.
what we'll do is, I don't even know the last film. We did this the last time we did the Oscars. I don't know what was the last film and who challenged who, because we will always pick up from that point. But we could do a whole month of Hirsch's stuff and then go back to whoever's challenge is next. I have I have no problem doing that. But I have the extended cut of Commando with Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, I got that.
That has to be a challenge in the future. It has to be. I have so many funny stories growing up watching that.
Well, we did Commando already, didn't we?
No, we've never done Commando. We've never done Commando. Trust me, we've never done Commando.
You know, I think I watched it though, and I brought up a scene. Oh no, what film am I thinking about with Schwarzenegger that we did? I could have sworn it was Commando.
No. I mean, I'm not going to bring up our list, but it definitely wasn't Commando.
All right, we'll come back to that.
There's a whole scene in that movie. I had to bring it up where he's talking with Sully, which is David Kelly, who was in Dreamscape. And I showed Mare the progression of how it gets to the scene that I ended up showing her. I said, this is how it starts. This scene comes next, and then this is the scene that you need to see. And I showed her all three, and that third scene, it's my favorite scene in the movie. Anyway, so we'll save that for when we review it if we ever do.
All right. So you talking about all these actors that look just like the people that they're portraying.
Yeah. I mean, they nailed it, in my opinion.
Now, back when, and this is a question that comes up now and then, but I remember when it's such a long day.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Ray Charles film. What was the Ray Charles film? What was the name of that?
Ray,
that's right. And who was the actor?
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx. When Jamie Foxx was up for Best Actor for Ray, and I forget, did he win?
He did.
He did.
Yeah.
I remember that was the year where you had all these people coming up. It's like funny. All of a sudden, when it's the black man like up for a Best Actor, sometimes people were asking, "Is it really a Best Actor just mimicking somebody and just looking like somebody?" Like, wow, that's timely. A black man up for Best Actor that they think's gonna win, and suddenly people are doubting whether it should go to somebody who just looks like the person. So it's, but yeah, funny that white gold,
baby.
But it brings up that point. I mean, like, but there's Gary Oldman. He doesn't look like Churchill. They made him look like Churchill.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you do a side by side of him and Churchill, yeah, if the likeness is there enough. Oh, here's the shot of Gary Oldman in the fat suit. But the likeness is there enough. But you could see it's Gary Oldman.
But without the makeup, he's not pulling off Churchill. You have to make him look like Churchill.
Even if he gained 85 pounds, he would still not look like Churchill.
Right. So then you can get into the question of how much of it is the actor, how much of it is the makeup. Oh, he looks just like Churchill, but that's because we made him look like Churchill. Is he being Churchill without, would he be able to be Churchill if they didn't put all the special makeup on him? Could he do Churchill on a stage play? I'm not questioning it myself, but it does raise interesting questions about to what degree the Best Actor role is just the actor.
Right. And again, I'm still convinced that not only does he get it, but I'm also still convinced that so far it's the best performance I've seen.
Well, I'll tell you this. I got a little misty during the subway, or the underground sequence.
That's subway.
At the end.
It was the tunnel.
But it's called the underground there.
Oh, it was called the underground. Oh, duh.
That's what I'm saying.
Because there's a band called the underground.
I didn't mean underground. I meant the underground.
Yeah. Sorry. I apologize. It's just like I should know that. There's a band called the Underground. That's why they named it. Whatever. Anyway. But no, that was a great scene. That was a great scene.
That I got a little bit. I didn't. I didn't
but I was just like, that's touching. It got to me. That was some good. And you know what? Again, storytelling, the arc at the beginning where they're driving through and they show all the happy people. It's like, this is going to come back. And then when he starts talking about, I don't think I've ever been on a bus. It's like, oh, this is going to come back, and it does. The contrast, and then him. But there's a reason for it. Him connecting with the people, and they show him being so isolated, and that's part of the filmmaking too. I like that part of the film.
Yep.
I think the only reason I didn't really get into the film, like you say you did, is that I'm not a history person. So I'm not excited by history. Whatever that says about me. So I'm not, and I'm especially not excited about war. I can't get a war on. I just okay, yeah, it's war, whatever. Yay.
Well,
so that's the stuff that loses me. But I was still engaged in the story, and Gary Oldman made you care about the character.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I like war films. But there's a certain type of war film that I like, and not that I'm saying this isn't it, but this isn't my choice of war film. Last year's
don't even mention
Hacksaw Ridge. That's the kind of war film I like.
I can't. I gotta get through this episode.
You all right?
Oh, yeah. Nothing came close to Hacksaw Ridge for me this year. So thank God.
Well, I told you, one of my coworkers, he goes and he sees. I don't know if I've mentioned this on the show, but he goes and he sees.
Yes, you did.
I did. Okay, he goes and he sees all the Oscar films. AMC does it, and he came to me and he said, "Listen," and I just thought of you immediately. He said, "Are there any films that are like Hacksaw Ridge last year, where it's just that gory, where it's that kind of realism in war?" And I was like, "Don't worry. This year, there's a couple of war films, but there's nowhere near what Hacksaw Ridge brought to your eyes."
It's almost like they did it on purpose this year too. It's almost like, maybe we should dial it back a bit. I mean,
for the first time ever, Jigsaw nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, I mean,
just to
fuck
like, with
okay. Can we make? Is there how real can we get it until we get the point where we're just watching war footage? Yeah, and I'm both grateful and annoyed. Because on the one hand, I'm like, I don't want to see that shit. Thank you very much. On the other hand, a PG-13 war film, talk about fucking sugarcoating the,
Yeah.
What was Churchill rated?
I believe that was rated R, but only for. I believe it was rated R, but mainly just for swearing. But you know what? I could see this being a PG-13. Yeah, it's PG-13.
Is it PG-13?
Yeah, it's PG-13.
Okay, I was about to say, no way that's an R.
Yeah.
No way. Yeah. Now,
and even when you watch Dunkirk, it's I can't even say it's a hard PG-13. It's kind of somewhere between a soft and a hard PG-13. There's just enough for it to get PG-13, and a couple of more things. Maybe if the battle scenes were just slightly more realistic.
Let's talk about that next episode, because I want to talk about that.
Okay.
But what I do want to say is the most depressing thing about Darkest Hour for me was I'm watching this film about a country's leader who is well-read,
sure, highly educated,
highly intelligent, deeply emotional, empathetic to the people, self-deprecating, just everything that you can check off the marks of just like a great man. And then I'm like, oh yeah, we have Trump.
We have a reality star as our president. Well, you know what's funny? Oh. One of the posters that I have has a few raves on it, and one of them is, "This is the movie we need right now." And obviously they're paralleling what's happening with America right now. That's what that quote is really saying. It's like, listen, this is someone that everything you just said, and then here's Trump.
Well, ignore Trump. Compare Churchill to our last wartime president, George Bush Jr.
Oh yeah, W.
Yeah, and okay, if you're a conservative and you're listening to the show, just fucking relax, and we'll get back to the movies, okay?
It's just a slight detour.
Yes, we're not seriously. Just hang on a second, then you can forget I said anything. But yeah, but I mean, maybe there's a reason we need films like this, because you talk, all these films about all these films were about about defeat and like looking into the eyes of defeat and like just trying to get some sort and gaining hope from that defeat. And yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
But all right. But long story short, I agree with you. Gary Oldman is most likely going to get it. If he doesn't, he's the favorite to win, hands down so far. Now I don't have my list in front of me, so I can't tell you who I haven't seen. What are the best actors again? It's
Gary Oldman for Darkest Hour. It's Denzel Washington for Israel.
That's right. We already went through these. Yeah.
Timothy Chalamet from Call Me by Your Name.
Yeah. That's the only one we have.
Daniel Kaluuya from Get Out. And Daniel Day-Lewis from Phantom Thread.
Okay, so after we see Phantom Thread and Call Me by Your Name, I'll be able to take a more firm stance on it. But so far, he's the hand-down favorite.
Well, Denzel Washington, I have to watch that to make a final decision.
No, you don't. You don't. He's not going to get it. He's just not.
But even though he's not going to get it, I might change my mind and feel that he gave the better performance. So I still would want to see it. I don't think I am going to change my mind, but you never know.
From the trailer, I'm going to tell you he's not getting it.
Well, maybe not.
Anyway,
I think
I'm a Denzel fan.
Oh, me too.
I'm not knocking Denzel.
And did you notice what the poster is? It's not him looking over his shoulder. It's just him, like it's almost like a side profile. It's
that's all he does.
Even on a film like that, it's still...
Yeah. Well, there's gangster shit in that. Like he steals from the mafia or something.
Oh,
or
right.
from like gangsters.
Yeah. And for a split second, I thought it was like based on a true story, and I'm like, wait a minute, he steals from the mafia? Oh, this is not a real movie, or it's not a true story. I thought he might have been portraying a real person.
Well, you know what? That's the one thing I liked about that trailer is it sold me to a point where it's like, this is a real guy, right? It really has that feel to it.
Yeah, it really does.
And that's, I mean, and I don't even know if that was intentional. It's just, it's like there's films that you watch the trailer to, like Pain and Gain.
Right.
You see that trailer, you're like, yeah, this isn't a real story. Oh, that was.
Yeah, and not only is it a true story, but there's a pretty kick-ass documentary that they made years ago about that, like when it happened.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
You can see it on Netflix. It's fucking great.
Oh, I gotta start watching Netflix more.
It's
okay.
Fucking.
I gotta look
it
that
is.
up.
I watched
it. Called?
Not off the top of my head, but after the show, I can find it.
We'll find it. Yeah, I gotta watch that because that was fun. I read like the
dude.
I forget what magazine.
And Michael Bay, as far as based on a true story. You know how a lot of them will say based on true events. Mm-hmm. Nearly everything you see in a movie actually fucking happened.
Well, they changed people. I've seen people that nitpick about it. It's like, this. Like, yeah, all right. They changed like the tone of certain things, and like again, it's still dramatization. It's not a documentary. I actually read the article that inspired the film when I heard about it, so I know the story, but I want to see the documentary now that you're talking about it. Cool. So we're good with this.
It's
with Churchill?
It's called 48 Hours: Pain and Gain.
Oh, okay.
So you can
that's cool. That they kept. I didn't even know they kept the name from the. That's weird.
So it's a documentary on Netflix that you can watch it.
Ooh, all right.
The real Sun Jim gang. God.
Is there anything from Churchill that stood out to you that you wanted to mention? I'm trying to think. I'm racking my brain if there's any part that I like. It's like,
I'll tell you
that was good.
Well, you know what scenes I really did like, and I just like the way it was directed, the way the cinematography was done. Everything in the courthouse, or part, where they're
Parliament.
Parliament,
Yeah.
right? I'm sorry, not the courthouse.
That's okay.
Everything at Parliament, where just like the way the camera pans in and then it comes down and it kind of turns a hair, where you just see and it's like it's a smoky room, it's dark, ominous, and it just the movie opens with that shot. It opens inside Parliament, and they're talking about Chamberlain just being a horrible leader and bringing them to where they are now, and they're getting rid of him, and he's just sitting there taking it. But that shot of just the whole crowd, where it's almost they're literally on top of Chamberlain in that shot. Those shots I thought were brilliant, and the ones that they, later on, they still have more of those shots. I thought all of those were done extremely well. As far as the film, something that stood out to me, it was those Parliament shots. But other than that, it was kind of. I mean, there was a couple of scenes in the film where Gary Oldman gave like a ridiculous performance. Specifically, the one that they have in the trailer or the TV spot that I had, where he says you can't reason with a tiger with your head in his mouth. That whole scene, that's a much longer scene. Just Gary Oldman, he just leaves everything on the table, right there.
Oh yeah.
And he does that a few times in a few other scenes. And it doesn't feel like it's overacted at any point. It just feels right. And it's just really well done. So if I took anything away from this movie, is obviously Gary Oldman's performance and the Parliament scenes. Other than that, I mean, if we're to
I wasn't
rate
even
it,
as impressed.
No, go ahead. If you weren't as impressed as what?
I wasn't as impressed by the Parliament scenes as you were. And actually, when the first scene happened, all I could think was I was looking at the back rows, like they got to be CGI'd, right? That's got to be easier than getting all those people up there. That's got to be like CGI in the back. I'm looking for like the running on the cliff guys in the back row. It's like it can't be real. Why would you put people all the way up there to shoot a shot? It's too much work for one shot. So that was,
I was thinking
wrong.
the opposite. I'm like, man, look at the way they built this set. It's crazy the way they tried to recreate this shot. It's just like I was thinking the total opposite. I'm thinking how much money they spent to just recreate this shot. It's like maybe 5 to 10 minutes of the movie, if that.
And I was like that. Yeah, that one guy waving his fist. That's not guy. That guy's not real. He's a sprite.
Cardboard cutout. He's a sprite. I like he's a sprite. Scott and I texted back and forth a little bit today, and I just said, I don't think we're going to exceed an hour like we've done the first 3 episodes. The first 3 episodes are almost 90-minute episodes. And our whole thing is we want to keep these under an hour. And I think we're going to be able to do that. We're at 43 minutes right now, and I think we're just about ready.
And I'm already done. Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done. So we can go ahead and rate this.
Yeah, I'm bringing it up now.
It's currently 7.4, and I think that feels pretty appropriate.
I'm good with a 7.
That's what I was going to say. I think it's a 7 feels pretty appropriate.
7 done.
It's by no means a bad film. It's by no means a great film. It's a good film. And I think that's
I don't know what they did with my fucking demographics, but I can't look at them now. So
well, if you click underneath the 7.4, if you click on the 37,166, that's where the demographics are now.
It doesn't let me click that.
Really?
Yeah.
I think you need to update
guitar.
You need to update your Flash player.
I guess I do.
Can you still load? Can you still not load our website?
I haven't tried, but I'm guessing the answer is no.
Yeah.
Because I don't work from home anymore, so I'm not on this computer 10 hours a day.
Yeah, I figured out.
Unfortunately,
I figured out why some people can and some people cannot load our website. If you cannot load our website for any reason, you just need to update your Flash player.
Stupid Flash. My computer should do that for me.
You'd think, but it doesn't.
I know it should.
It doesn't. And if you're running Windows 10, if you're running Windows 10 or Windows 7, 8, or 10, you have to update the Flash player for every browser you use, except Edge. Edge in 10 is it just does not like Flash websites at all. You'd have to use an HTML5, or you'd have to use a newer, like a Moto CMS type website.
If we're doing Geek Talk, I had a brief conversation with my my older stepdaughter, 25-year-old millennial. I call her and I ask her, what's your computer? Says, I don't know. Says, go to the start menu and bring up computer stuff. Go to computer. Says, I can't do that. I have Windows 8. I don't know how to get to that screen. It's like, just kill yourself.
Well,
you call yourself a millennial.
Yeah, right.
You're 25 years old. You should be telling me how to do that. And why the fuck do you have Windows 8? It was only a free upgrade for like a year and a half.
Yeah, right. And she's missed that. Actually, she might not have missed it, but odds are she's missed the window to get a free copy of 10.
Kids today.
And the fact that when you said, what are you running? She should just, it's either Windows, a Mac. She ain't running Linux or Ubuntu. She's not running either of those.
Well, my younger stepdaughter wants to get a computer like hers. So I'm like, what's your computer? It's an Asus. No. She called it an Asus.
Asus?
And I was like,
wow, I've never heard it called that before.
Asus. No, she called it Asus. So no, it's an...
Asus is the proper way to pronounce it, but I called it...
Asus, no.
Asus is the proper pronunciation, but I called it Asus.
She called it like Asus. It was like Asus, or she called it something stupid. Let me put it that way.
So
I was like, no, it's Asus.
Asus is the proper pronunciation. Asus. No. Asus is the proper pronunciation, but I called it Asus for years. For years, I called it Asus, and
she called it the opposite of both of those.
That's what I'm getting at.
And I was like, all right. That's the people that built the computer. I need more.
Well, when you said click to start, you should have just asked her what her start menu, like what the little icon looked like, and that would have just told you.
No.
You would have tricked her into giving you the right answer.
I don't have time for games.
But then she said to you, I have Windows 8. I don't know how to get to that screen.
Yeah. So what are you, 90?
It's funny. Today, 3 people came into the site that I was working at, and they said they were asked their email address, and 3 people said AOL.com, just like blah, blah, blah at AOL.com. And I'm like, then I look over. I had to peek my head up, and I'm like, yeah, they're old.
My parents have AOL.com emails. I don't want to hear it.
Listen, if you have an AOL.com email address, odds are you're old. I'm sorry, it's the truth of the matter. Here's how that happened. Back in the dawn of the internet, the dial-up internet, people got AOL accounts and they just never got rid of them.
Joey,
you are now the old people.
Joey, if Verizon hadn't given me free emails when I had bought my web page like 20 years ago, or my domain, I'd still have an AOL.com account. So
here's the thing.
Shut up.
Here's the thing.
Because I'm old. We're old. We're old.
Stop. Here's the thing. If we'd all have AOL accounts still if AOL didn't suck a dick. Okay? Well, there's a reason why people don't have AOL accounts anymore. And it's not because that, I'm not old and I'm hip. No, it's because AOL started sucking a dick about 2-3 years after they came out.
What's worse, people that still have AOL.com accounts, emails, or people that have the Hotmail emails? What's worse?
I probably have to. Well, here's the thing. Hotmail is owned by Microsoft, and it eventually became Outlook. I don't think you could still have a Hotmail account.
Really? I don't know. My favorite technology running gag ever is Parks and Recreation with Alta Vista.
Alta Vista.
You ever watch Parks and Rec?
I've seen some Parks and Rec, but I've never seen that.
Yeah, I was forced to start watching it. It's a fucking hilarious show. But it's like this town is that every time they talk about stuff, they we go to our Alta Vista, and like the one guy in like season 3 or 4 is like, what is this place's fascination with Alta Vista? It's like they draw attention to the joke after a while to make it funnier. Wow. But anyway, we're done, right?
We're done. So
let's move on to our next people dying film.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So this is episode 266
of Moviesucktastic. As always, thanks for joining us. Please go to our website at Moviesucktastic.com. You can download the show there. You can listen to the show there. You can tune in live every Thursday at 8 o'clock and hang out with us while we review the film. We'd love to have you join us. You can go to iTunes and you can download or listen to the show there as well. You can go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Moviesucktastic. Everything we post, from trailers to when we go live to just movie news to just stuff that interests us in the entertainment world, it goes on our Facebook page. You can leave us email. The address is themovieguys@Moviesucktastic.com. You send us something, we'll read it on the show. You can also go to our Tumblr page at Moviesucktastic.tumblr.com. You want to leave us voicemail? It's 908-514-4470. We'll play that on the show if you do it. And you can you can download the free app for your Android devices. Everything I said is in the app. It's 100% free. It's one of
which I just renewed, so it's good for another year.
Nice. If you ever need me to take over that cost, just let me know.
I got it.
All right.
I got it. You do all the work. I'll spring the cash.
Oh, ooh, nice. Everything in that is what I mentioned. It's 100% free. It's how I listen to our show in my vehicle. If you have a headphone jack, you could use that. If you have Bluetooth, even better. I highly recommend it. You should absolutely get it.
Oh, yeah.
And you have any words of wisdom, Mr. Wilson?
Up your bum!
All right, everybody. We'll talk to you whatever.
In about 5 minutes. Up your bum!
Up your bum! That's winning him the Oscar, that line.
Oh, yeah, up your bum.
I wonder if he says it in his acceptance speech.
He should do that to the crowd.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. Bye-bye.
But where are you going?